What's up, guys? So here's a trick to get your Honda idling better underwater. It's the most common question I get. So definitely want to give this a shot if you're having issues with it stalling out underwater. All you're going to do is use the factory set screw to increase your idle speed. Honda calls for 1400 RPM plus or minus 100. So the goal is to get it up around 1500, 1550. If you have a foot shift, you might be able to go to even 1600 RPM. So the right way to do is to buy a little RPM meter, wrap around the spark plug wire. You can also be less scientific and just increase the idle until it starts to drive away, aka the centrifugal clutch is engaging, and then back it off a little bit. So it's a trial and error thing. Check out the description for links to my other videos on this topic. Also, there's a new promo code on the screen here. I got you guys a 10% off promo code for Vessel Power Sports, so use that when you make an order on there. And I've done this mod on Pioneer 500s. It works really good on a 2015 or 2016. It does not work on a 2017 Pioneer 500. It won't shift if you increase the idle hardly at all. And this will work on almost all the ATVs. I haven't tested it on a double clutch yet, so proceed at your own risk there. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to make your Honda idle underwater. The Copper 90 mod is a joke. Airbox, the O2 delete is a joke. I have videos testing both of those. Look in the description. This is the only thing I found that actually makes a difference. I did the same mod on this Pioneer 500 right here. It's a 2015, and it's been idling underwater like a champ. So now it's time to do the same thing to my Foreman. This thing idles underwater okay. Some Hondas are better than others. But I wanted to increase the idle a little bit more. So, some people increase the idle by adjusting the knob up here on the thumb throttle. That's a bad idea because if the cable gets tight or loose when you steer, your idle can go up and down, it can flip the bike over on you underwater, etc. Not good. The correct way to increase your idle is a little adjustment right here on the side of the throttle body. You see my fingers pointing? There is a little set screw with a nut on it, and you can use that to increase the idle. Now, in making this video, I actually broke my machine. So I didn't realize it when I started making this video. This screw, there's supposed to be a screw in that hole, and it's missing, right? This screw right here locks down this little bracket so your fuel line doesn't break the injector. So I just broke my fuel injector trying to make this video for you guys because I didn't realize that screw was missing. It's probably been gone forever, and until I mess with it, it's been fine. So yeah, now I gotta buy a new injector. But anyway, so the way to do this is pull the seat, pull the engine cowl, loosen up your two clamps real good. So that one's loose, and then loosen up this rubber clamp down here. So you got your two Phillips clamps. Once you get those loose, that gives you enough wiggle room to take this and turn it, okay? Once you turn it, you get to this screw on this little black cover. I am doing this with one hand, and I'm not left-handed, so this is fun. Get that screw out of the way, pop off this cover. So you kind of hinge it down, and then you can pop it off. It's got a little catch down there like that. And there you go, that's your adjuster right here. This is what you use to adjust the idle properly. So you loosen up that nut, there's an Allen or a hex in the bottom of it. So loosen up that nut, come in from the side down here with a long, let's see if it's, I think it's a 3 or 2. Let's see which one it is. Not a 2. It's not a 2 millimeter. Probably a 3 millimeter. Let's try 2.5. I think it's actually 2.5. That kind of sounds right. Last time I messed with it. Yep, that's what it is. So you've got a 7 millimeter nut there, and you've got a 2.5 hex there. So that's a 7 millimeter nut. That's a 2.5. Loosen up the nut a couple turns, and then you can use this to fine tune your idle. Now you want to increase the idle just enough to where it doesn't start to drive away. You don't want it engaging the centrifugal clutch. That'll make it hard to shift. On the ES machines, electric shift, you may have to play with the idle a little bit to get it adjusted properly where it'll still shift happy. I don't recommend doing this on a double clutch or any machine that says automatic on it. So if you have like a 2017 or newer Pioneer 500, you really can't do this. You can only do this on the older Pioneer 500, the 15 or 16, and it should work on all the electric shift ATVs, and of course it works on anything with a foot shift. So let me grab a tool and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so get your 7 millimeter wrench on there, crack it loose. And like I said, just go a couple turns loose so it doesn't interfere with your adjustments because you're gonna be screwing it in. So I'm just loosening up the set screw nut. I haven't turned the shaft at all yet. This is just to get me ready to adjust it. See that white? It's like a little white locking glue on there. Okay, now that that's loose, grab your 2.5, make sure the throttle body is turned over about as far as you can get it. And then you can come in right here and you can crank up your idle. Okay, see I'm turning it? Usually you need to do about half a turn, but it's kind of a trial and error thing. So just increase it a little bit, play with it, make sure it's not driving itself away, make sure it's shifting right, and that'll help you idle underwater a lot better. All right, if you want to be scientific, get you one of these little tack hour meters, tiny tack I think. There's the number on the back of it. The way this works is you wrap this around your spark plug wire like 5 times, and this will read out actual engine RPM when it's running. I can't show you that right now because my injector is snapped off, but check out my Pioneer 500 video. I use this on there, and that really helps you fine tune your idle. Now obviously you want to get the machine warmed up and play with this back and forth a few times to get the idle set just right. But yeah, it's not a bad job. I think anybody can do it. Before you start yanking on your throttle body to twist it sideways though, make sure that that screw right there is in place. Otherwise you will snap off your fuel injector like I did. So now I got to replace that sucker. Fun, fun, fun.